Hi, everybody. Did you have fun with that? Did you? Hi, I'm Mr. Moohead. And I wanted to point out my idiot of the week, Nick Carnes. Nick Carnes, you're a fucking idiot. He's a guy on YouTube who does podcasting, Cleveland Sports, who was saying, I'm calling the shot and they're going to win 4 games. Or I'm calling a shot right now and say, sign Jameis Winston as a long-term quarterback, multi-year deal. You know, you're a fucking idiot, man. And when I called him out on Twitter, I just tweeted to him out in space. And within 3 minutes, that cocksucker comes back and says, well, I believed in the Browns, but I see that it was not why that was not, there was no payback for that. You were wrong. You've been wrong about everything. You've been wrong, Deshaun Watson. You just criticized Deshaun Watson. When are you going to realize that the team stinks? They're no good. They have no offensive concept. They got nothing. The ownership of the team destroyed the entire roster of the team. I mean, for God's sakes, unbelievable. But, be that as it may, I guess people have the right to be wrong. It's just that you hate it when they say this week after week. They get one lucky win. And after the one lucky win, he's like, oh, I own this now. And it's like, you're an idiot. You're just an idiot. For God's sakes. Ah, God. This is my bye. Bye. Oh, they suck. And they suck because ownership sucks. And I feel bad for the players. I want them to get on a better team and where they can move on their careers. And that's what I'm hoping for the guys on the team, because it's like nobody likes to be this bad, but there is a poison that's in the organization, and he sits in the owner's chair, and it's just poison. That Haslam's poison. Yeah. So I don't know where to begin with this. I really don't know where to begin. I'm hoping Big Lurker UK. How you doing there, buddy? Yes, it was a big turd, my friend. Big turd. Huge turd.
I actually had one during the game. I feel much better.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
You're landing in the States. Oh, I'm proud to be an American where at least I know we'll lose. Yeah.
And I won't forget the digestive problems that game gave to me.
Yeah. So you saw it with your own eyes. I mean, did you really think it was a matter of time? This is what happened to Joe Flacco.
Correct.
In the biggest game of the year. It's like, whoop. How'd they get their hands on it? And they're going all the way the other way with it. It's like the same thing. You have a career history of throwing interceptions, and you're playing for a team that has no real
concept.
No, there's nobody who gets separated from anybody. They're running the wrong patterns. The blocking schemes are all fucked up. The coach needs to be terminated because he's lost control. He just lost control of the team. Yeah, and Jeffrey, it's not any one person's fault. All right. But what I want you to do, Jeffrey, is do this for me. I want you to say it wasn't all Deshaun Watson's fault. Please put that in the chat room, please, because it's never one guy. And that was my point all along. Do you think I was happy with the way Deshaun Watson played? Hell no. But it isn't one guy. I mean, one guy misses his block and the quarterback is sacked. One receiver cuts in instead of out. One bad quarterback read. But I will tell you that Jameis Winston on the 4th down and 1 play, all he had to do was throw the ball up in the air, and Tillman was behind everybody by 15 yards. And instead he threw it on the flat to Nick Chubb. But what's the good of me saying that? Because he's the one on the field, and he's the one who has to see it. So, thank you. I hate to bully people, and I didn't mean to bully you, Jeffrey. But the fact is, this is where we're at. And all of this, it was Deshaun Watson's fault. And now what will fall out is, oh my God, it's Jameis Winston's fault. It isn't. It's the whole team, the whole organization, the way this whole rot was put together. Hi, David. How are you?
I'm good, Lou.
Oh, that's good. I'm glad to hear you're okay. I thought you had started with the paper cuts again.
No, I actually shut it off at the third quarter.
Oh, nice. Good move. Good, because you didn't miss much except one hell of a touchdown catch by Cedric Tillman that the announcer is still denying was a touchdown.
Correct.
Why, I have no idea, except that he's just a bitter little prick. That's all.
By the way, I'm placing bets that Jimmy Haslam's wife Dee is actually his cousin.
That she's what?
Actually, his cousin.
Oh,
I'm placing bets. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, then you definitely don't want his sons to take over the team. Yeah, you don't want Jimmy Haslam the fourth or fifth running the team.
Yeah, and the thing between Juan Thornhill and Denzel Ward would usually be a no-brainer that it would all be on Juan Thornhill, but after coming off 87 concussions, you just never know what's going on with this team. You just
punch drunk.
Yeah, you just don't know what it is, but yeah.
They don't listen, and I think they just do whatever the hell they want back there.
Well, I mean, they did the same thing twice.
Yeah.
Unreal.
How about those Cavs, though? God damn it! What a great game it was last night.
Nice try for a misdirection, but I will say this, Bronk. I will be the first one to be the first listener on the Bronk podcast. I will.
Thank you very much.
And I'll promote it throughout the internet. I will, because I believe that we need more voices. We don't need more Nick Carnes, little pom-pom fairy ass cheerleaders. We need good descriptive content, like me showing my ass on camera.
I think the highlight of the day, and I have to share this, and I'm gonna show my phone to the camera. This was immediately after you showed your ass. Hold on. Look at the look Topaz is giving you. Like, what the fuck, Dad?
No, not the big
man. No. Like, what the fuck, Dad? Come on.
No.
Back up on me.
You probably got a bad whiff out of that.
Would you wipe, you old bastard?
So now everyone's going to go back and watch the halftime show. You see, this
marketing. It's a fucking savvy marketing.
Yeah, absolutely. You see, nobody watches the halftime show, so I'm pimping it here. It's like within the first 2 minutes of the halftime show, you get my entire commentary of this organization and in a flash.
I really think you can describe the Browns in one picture, and it's just your bare ass cheeks.
Yeah. Normally, you have to sign up for Only Moose account, to get that sort of content. Yeah. So.
Well, I mean, I didn't do anything. It wasn't like I was spreading cheeks like Andy Dufresne in Shawshank Prison. It wasn't like that.
Well,
right. Although,
based on the play today, you might as well have. It would have been highly more entertaining than what the hell we watched.
I got breaking football news. It looks like Mason Rudolph is leading the Tennessee Titans in overtime to a win against the Patriots. They got the ball down on the
Panthers beat the Saints.
Yeah, Panthers beat the Saints.
Yeah, Bills beat the Dolphins on a 62-yard field goal to win the game.
Who beat the Dolphins?
The Bills.
Oh, wow, a 62-yarder.
Yep.
Yeah.
Wow. And Mr. Smith, you're absolutely right. You can't live from hand to mouth with quarterbacks. You got to develop them. And if you can't, and we talked about this, last week, you have a guy like Brian Sipe, and he sat behind Mike Phipps. You had Bernie Kosar sit behind Gary Danielson, And when the time is right, you groom them and you put them in. Some are more ready to go than others. Some will succeed, some will not. But when you consistently choose the wrong people, you can just forget about it. It's all done for at that point.
Apparently, Za'Darius Smith has been traded to the Lions.
Yeah, and that doesn't surprise me. I mean, the sell-off
Good for
begins
him.
in earnest, you know, and I hope he does well there. And thank you, by the way, to Christopher Walken.
More cowbell.
Christopher Watkins. At the halftime program, yes, Ken Dorsey is not the general manager, but he's a senior advisor with the Lions. You put good people in your front office instead of people like Dee Podesta. And
You
Andrew
mean
Berry.
John Dorsey? Ken Dorsey is the.
Oh, that's right. Ken Dorsey is the one who's wondering if he's
Jimmy
got a
Dorsey.
job tomorrow. That's right. My bad.
Dorsey.
Yeah. John Dorsey did a pretty good job in drafting here and got cut loose when basically Jimmy got I got a fever. I got a fever
for cowbell
analytics.
No, let's be honest about it. Freddie Kitchens got Dorsey fired.
Well, that had something to do with it.
Well, he couldn't even spell. I don't know that he could do anything. No, he wasn't even active, Jeffrey.
No, he was inactive.
Deontay Foreman was inactive, and I don't know why.
He was more active than more people, though. More active than Conklin.
Yeah. I thought I was watching Frankenstein's Bride. He was being made a little bitch out of.
You should give the Bill Masterson voice to Conklin. Ooh.
Bill Masterson?
Bill Masterson.
Oh, I haven't done Bill Conklin in a long time. You know something? Hi, it's me, Bill Masterson from Canal Fulton, Ohio. How y'all doing out there? I'll tell you, my motor's still running and I got a fever. I literally got a fever, not like Peggy Lee's. I got a fever about 102 degrees and I've been very sick. You can hear it in my voice. I kind of sound like Bill Clinton, but I'm not. I'm Bill Masterson. All right, enough of that. You gotta breathe, man. Toby, you're going to get everyone started. Although I did want to do an impression. All right, this is my impression, and I do one impression for two people. All right, Dee Haslam and Donald Trump.
Wow.
Okay, there you go.
That was a visual one for you people listening on radio.
Yeah. Just had to. And I feel bad for this fella. I've been a lifelong Browns fan, and I remember we talked about back in the day, if Browns could ever get to the Super Bowl, it's not going to happen. And it's like, here we are. Look where we find ourselves. Scotty beamed us up now, and now is then.
After that horrible fourth down play where Nick Chubb just got mullered and lost about 5 yards, they showed the crowd, and there's some old boy in the crowd. It's got to be about 80 years old with this one hand on his face going like, I'm never going to see a division win again. I'm going to die before we win another game. Yeah, it was just terrible.
Well, what they didn't show you on TV was that, Jameis Winston, and see, again, people don't want to make fools of themselves, so I'll make a fool of you because you are fools. He threw the ball out to the flat without even looking down the field, and Cedric Tillman was 15 yards behind anybody covering him. All he had to do was throw it up in the air, and it would have been a touchdown. So you can take it for what it's worth. He doesn't see the field any better than Deshaun Watson does because he's so sick of looking at the field and nobody's open. Hey, Joel Wireman, how you doing, my man? Yeah, there he is. He's lurking. Yeah, he's. Oh my God, Marmaduke. What the hell's the story with that dog? God.
Woof.
I saved him. He's a rescue dog.
Oh, really? How old is the doggy?
He's 7 years old.
Oh,
He
let me
used to be
see
a
him
fight-
again.
They used to be a fighting dog. This is a police dog.
Oh, wow. Look at that. That's a fine looking hound. Oh, let me put him up full screen. I want to put this guy up full screen. I'm a dog lover. Oh, look at that snout. Yeah. Oh, he about wants to be on this program as much as everybody else. Well, good doggy. Outstanding. It's not going to happen. No. I mean, I'm 67. It's going to take 3-4 years just to even have a winning record. So, I'm going to be long gone. Oh, God. Jacob brought this up Friday show at the end. I don't know who Jacob is. That sounds like some Jewish guy. My name is Jacob, and what I wanted to say in the Friday show was, God, we suck. We suck the big moose, not this moose
Not
and the
moose.
No.
Not moose.
Oh,
Not
God,
Moose
sakes, no.
Stradamus.
All right. So he's shouting him out, and I don't know who Jacob is, honestly. I wish I knew.
Maybe. I
And I'm Billy.
You know who Billy is?
No.
You don't know. I remember you used to talk to him on the show. You don't remember him?
Oh, yeah. Remember who he is. I thought you were going to tell me that there was some secret identity that somebody's messing with me. Are you messing with me, Joel Wireman? He's getting the kick out of it, whatever it is.
Nah, bro, that's hilarious.
Okay.
The Titans win in overtime.
Who does?
The
The Titans beat the Patriots.
Remember them?
Remember them, yeah.
Yeah.
Mason Rudolph gets the
Mason Rudolph.
All
that's
he
a
needed
quarterback
to
we should
do.
go out and get.
No, Mason Rudolph. All he needed to do was to go to Tennessee. Yeah, that's all. You need to go to a southern state. He would be appreciated there.
Oh, worshipped.
Hey, you want to know something crazy, Moohead?
What's that?
Mason Rudolph is from a city that is only like 20 minutes from me, or actually, it's like an hour from me in South Carolina.
Oh, really? Where in South Carolina are you, Joel?
I'm in Greenville, Spartanburg.
You're in Greenville. I lived for like 4 years up in Landrum.
Landrum?
Yeah, fuck yeah.
That's crazy. The Landrum Cardinals, the high school?
Yeah.
Hey, you want to know a funny story about that?
Sure.
Did you ever keep up with the Landrum basketball?
No,
Well, they had this kid named Trey. Back when I was in high school, he was like one of the top-rated people around the state and stuff. And I promise you, hand on the Bible, I'm not lying. I got the rebound, and I was like a bigger kid back then. I got the rebound, and I was dribbling up the court, and I have it on footage somewhere. I was dribbling up the court, and I went behind my back, and I crossed him, and everyone was like, "Oh my gosh!"
You broke his ankles?
Yeah. He
moment.
He played for Landrum.
Yeah, I mean, there wasn't a lot of horses in Landrum, but yeah, I spent a lot of time in Greenville. It's a nice area. It really is.
Oh,
I
yeah.
like the town. Liked it very much.
Where you live at now?
Well, I have two places. The place, and we sold the place in Landrum because I got a divorce and had to sell the house. And now I live half the year in Florida, which is where I am now, and half the year in Ohio.
Damn, I was born in Ohio. That's crazy. OHIO. Go Buckeyes. Fuck Penn State.
Now, where in Ohio were you born, Joel?
Marion.
Marion.
Home of Warren G. Harding.
Hey,
There you go.
You want to know something about
Warren G. Harding? You broke his ankles in a basketball game.
Yeah, I did. But you want to know something funny about Marion, Ohio?
Well, go ahead.
You know it's after Marion, Ohio, right? Or you know it's before Marion, Ohio, right?
Go ahead. You hit me the punchline. You blew the joke. Go ahead.
Dayton, Ohio is before Marion.
Dayton. You Dayton before you get Marion.
There you have it.
I thought it was fiance Ohio, but anyway.
Oh God. You know.
Pretty good, right?
It's true. You know, Doggy Bones, it's true what you're saying. When he doesn't have the play to cover his face, you know, that he just has this look on his face.
He's got this smirk half the time.
Couldn't get any worse, you know.
Yeah, I got a confession, chat. I'm being serious. I got autism.
Oh, do you really?
Yeah,
Where'd you get it?
I was born with it.
Wow.
Yeah, well, you know, we all have our roads to travel, just like the Browns do. Kevin will be fired now, Tori's saying. Well, I can't say
Are you saying the Browns have autism?
Yeah, well, I think it's a real possibility. I didn't say anything.
Put it on the board? Yes.
I'm being respectful here. And that is correct, Toby. The problem never solves itself because he's just the only way is if somehow he could be threatened sufficiently to divorce himself from the day-to-day operations of this team because he needs to bring in professionals, and he's not a football professional, and the people surrounding him are not football professionals. So, you know. You're a dumbass, Moo, and I miss talking to you. Oh my God, the loons are coming out.
They're all coming out today. It's like Halloween or something.
Hey, I'm just a lovable cow. What can I tell you?
Oh my fucking gosh!
Yeah, well, you know, Jeffrey, I'll tell you this. The Nick Chubb I saw out there in the same guy. And he can't change direction.
No.
And I don't really want to, you know, it's sad to me because I respect him. He's such a hard worker. He deserved so much more. And, you know, this is unfortunately what happens after a second major reconstructive. And, you know, you could see it that if he's running in a straight line, that's one thing. But if he has to sidestep and do the quick cut and do what I call the chop step, he can't do it. And, you know, whether that's something that will come back to him, I don't want to prognosticate anything, but he just does not have the quick twitch that he used to have.
Jerome blocking up front, who knows?
Yeah, that's right. If we had a real offensive line, we would have a better indication of that.
Wow. I don't know what he's cooking there, but it looks like bread.
Hey, but I've been riding my bike a lot, Cleveland vet. So, I mean, my ass should look better at this point. And if it does, there's something wrong with you. Terribly wrong with you.
You know, it's funny. Moo.
Yep.
When you were doing the halftime, I tuned in just at the last second after you had mooned. I didn't see what had happened, and then my dad walked in.
Oh,
all he saw was you pulling your pants up.
Holy shit, he thought you were watching porn.
Or being groomed.
Oh, my.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tom Holly's done watching these clowns. I'd rather put hot sauce in my eyes. I don't know, DeJuan Jones. I mean, is he and Jed Wills the same guy? They just keep interchanging one another. That would be like a Star Trek plot from the late 60s. Oh, God.
I think Zarius Smith knows he's gone because he dressed pretty quickly and got out of the locker room without saying a word to the media.
Yeah. I mean, what are you going to do? I mean, and there isn't a man in that locker room who's saying, God, I wish I was going with you.
Yeah.
And yes, Jameis is going to remain the starter.
Well, of course. I mean, who are you going to have? Fucking DTR start? I mean,
Bailey Zappi.
Well, we don't
they got.
We don't have a playable
Wait, they
quarterback on
start
this
Bailey
roster.
Zappi? No fucking way.
Bailey Zappi. I mean, let's tank properly here.
Fucking bring back Brandon Whedon, Charlie Fry.
Well, Zappy, you know what it sounds like? It almost sounds like an online shoe selling company.
You're better off having Frank Zappa be the fucking quarterback.
That's right. That's it.
Moon
you know?
it. Moon Unit and Dweezil.
The Dynamo Hum. Yeah, Christopher, you were absolutely right. I was giving your props earlier. Yeah, he is a senior advisor. That means he's about 94 years old. He's a senior advisor. Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, that's Stefanski.
And
With some, we've hit the Pat Shermer quote phrase of the Kevin Stefanski era.
oh no, you're not going to quote anything. I'm only taking things from Big Lurker. You're not going to do that again. You're not going to hook me. Go ahead, do it, Tony. I'll do it for you.
I'm not going to hold the fish. You can't.
Tony.
It's just I have to laugh whether you believe it or not. He just said it's tough not to play our best. No shit, Sherlock.
You haven't done that all year.
We haven't seen their
I'm
best.
really fucking excited. We play like shit. What the hell? What kind of quote is that?
When have we seen their best?
I don't know, man.
I'm trying to figure that shit out, man.
No.
No. Good God Almighty. Well, the Browns are in the running for the first pick. Lose the rest of the games. Put DTR out there.
Yeah, I mean, fuck. Them and the Giants are pretty bad, and the Patriots are pretty bad. So
there's a lot of bad teams this year.
Yeah.
Now, the one thing I can tell you, and I see Joel Wireman now buzzing his way back into the studio. You know, Jadeveon Clowney was this big South Carolina player, and I met Jadeveon Clowney before he was a Cleveland Brown, to put it in perspective, down in South Carolina, and he and I went to the same chiropractor, is what it amounted to. It's really kind of an odd story, but yeah. So he learned his lesson coming to Cleveland. He won't do that again.
Yeah, he also destroyed Denard Robertson. Was that who it was? Remember versus South Carolina versus Michigan?
I was never a South Carolina Gamecock fan. I couldn't say Gamecock without feeling like homophobic.
Yeah, Gamecock.
That's fighting chickens for you people out there.
So, and Big Lurkers.
Who else is in the live chat?
Who's in the live chat? Well, David Tlevsky, Tony the Calf, and Bronk from England.
How about y'all show yourselves like professionals?
Because they're not professionals.
Oh, I guess me and you are the only professionals here.
I'm not a professional either, but I have to show myself because it scares people away. You know, I'm good at that. And and I'm getting some backup from Big Lurker UK doggy moans that Chubb shouldn't be out there.
No, he should retire and be in the Ring of Honor.
What are you going to call me out for, Cleveland vet? Go ahead and call me out. What the hell? It can't be worse than the game I just watched. Look, Cleveland vet, if you're going to vote for a guy who sucks dick, go for it, man. You probably already have voted for a guy who sucks dick. This guy sucks dick in front of a crowd. He literally pantomimed sucking a penis.
Well, there you go.
That's your guy. All right. I'm just guessing that's why you're going to call me out. I'm feisty today, huh?
You're a mad cow today.
Yeah, and you know, Bronk, I don't know that Jerome Ford knows how to cut, except maybe if he eats the wrong food.
Hey.
Too much broccoli, then he would be cutting all over. What?
Is Trump going to win Ohio?
Yes.
Yes. Absolutely.
Of course. Trump is going to win the election. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
He's a favorite at the bookies here in England.
Yeah, he'll win.
He's like,
hey, I got a question. I got a question for you, Moohead.
Yes. Do you remember what it was?
Are we getting a world tour of David Tlevsky's backyard right now? Like, what the heck is going on?
No, he can only walk out so far before the buzzer starts sounding.
No, these are all mushrooms. The guy's hooked to psilocybin. He's on drugs.
Dude,
is that a pile of dog poo in the background?
I
You
don't
said
know.
Tum Tum mushrooms?
Oh my goodness.
No, wait. There's a grill there.
Cleveland vet got drunk. Sometimes you can't be sober and watch that. I get it. Yeah.
You got to be
Fuck,
blackout to
fuck
watch
you,
it.
Cleveland vet. You look like a dumbass.
My goodness. Big lurker. Here we go. Falling to 1-4. It's tough not to play our best. That's really frustrating.
Hey,
Well,
wait, get down, doggy. No.
Get down.
get down, get down, get down tonight, doggy, get down.
I was gonna say, get down on it. Boom, doo, doo, doo.
I can't wait until Trump gets back into office. He's gonna set things straight for us all.
You know, I don't know where some of these people come from, but I guess Ray Rags, you're gone.
Wait, what'd that guy say?
He just kept repeating something nonsensical over and over again. I have no idea. Browns head coach Kevin Stefanski. We're not playing good enough to win a single fucking game. That's our focus, really.
Yeah,
winning one fucking game. Finding a way to not beat ourselves or beat ourselves off.
Or beat with ourselves. Yeah.
Well, you know, Richard, you don't say things like that because you're going to be rudely disappointed. It isn't who's really going to get voted in. It's who they want in. They already have proof that they can control him for 4 years. All they have to do is give money to his family. That's all they have to do. They'll always go with that rather than going with having to deal with somebody they don't have to deal with. So, you know, there's no analytical perspective in this game. There's, you know, just a quarterback who his whole career has thrown interceptions and is still throwing interceptions and will always throw interceptions. And he just made he threw the ball late in the end zone that resulted in the tip that resulted in the interception. He threw the ball late over the middle that resulted in the interception, but there isn't enough time to miss a beat because the receivers don't have separation. So, you know,
And he was fortunate.
Go ahead.
Last week. He was fortunate last
Yeah.
week. He could have had the same thing happen to him last week. I mean, you
And
didn't
I agree
have to be.
I'm agreeing with Jeffrey here. You know, Cedric Tillman is looking like something, but the question is, why didn't anyone see it previously? I mean, talent assessment is a big part of the game. And once again, Jerry Jeudy, it wouldn't be Jerry Jeudy if he didn't stop running for a ball or run in the wrong direction. Or, I mean, got some bad players on this team, you know, really. Some really bad players. And there
We
was
don't have
really
a playable quarterback.
Yeah, it's and it's not that Herbert really killed us. We killed ourselves. 2 plays.
Yep.
This guy threw for 282 yards, but 2 of them were like almost 100 yards.
Correct.
I mean, it's just we sacked him 6 times. And, you know, I called the score 27-13 and it was 27-10. We don't get more than 1 touchdown in a game. That's just a fact. And it doesn't matter who's commandeering the team, who's the quarterback. It makes no difference. The team isn't any good. They're old, they're washed up, and they just need to start over. And I wish they could start completely over and just get rid of Haslam, but we can't do that. But I did want to make a comparison for people so you understand where I'm coming from. And it isn't just a blatant disregard or dislike for Jimmy Haslam. It isn't that. You take a look at the Cavaliers, and the Cavaliers are playing literally the same people. They made no changes in the offseason. They made no additions that were meaningful at all. Yes, Tyson's a rookie, but he doesn't play. All right. And Imani Bates still doesn't and won't play. It's the same guys, the 10. All right. And Karis LeVert was hurt. playing a team in Milwaukee who's gotten off to a hard start, but you knew that God, why am I blanking on that?
Giannis and Damian Lillard.
Damian Lillard was not going to continue shooting 26.7% from three, and he broke through with us. He was hitting everything in sight. What is Joel Wireman doing there, for God's sakes?
I don't know, cooking some shoe leather.
That's David Talevsky.
Oh, David's cooking shoe leather.
Oh, I'm looking out of the corner of my eye, and there are some people who are. We got some strange folks. I see you there, Joel. I see you, but I got to talk to some of the other folks too. It wouldn't be fair, and I got to get some points across. So you got the same 10 people playing. The only change was the coach.
Correct.
Now, we always said in the off seasons of years past, Evan Mobley's got to take the next step, and he's got to learn to do something with the ball in his hands. He can't just stand there and just try to two-hop somebody, get it on a defensive rebound or an offensive rebound and put it back up. Can't just do that. He's got to be able to initiate something. And JB Bickerstaff could never figure that out. JB Bickerstaff could never figure out how to run an inbounds play. Couldn't remember anything. He couldn't anything that was formulative in his mind. He only knew his one way of doing things, and it was a bad way of doing things. And that's that. And it finally, after the second year of playoff disaster, they got rid of him. Now they bring in Kenny Atkinson. And all Kenny Atkinson has done is said, okay, we're going to push the ball a little bit. And by the way, you, Darius Garland, you had a shit year last year. You got hurt a lot and you lost your confidence. I want you to start pumping up threes, and I want you to share the ball. You and Donovan, we need you to share the ball. And Evan, take the open three if they give it to you, and we're going to create an offense that you get the ball at the top of the key and you can take the ball to the basket, but you got to figure out a few shots that you can create to use your length to take advantage of your offensive skill set. And so that's what we work on during the off season. And all of a sudden, it's like he's got Sam Merrill playing defense without Karis LeVert, down 16 on the road against a Bucks team that really, they had Giannis, they had their pieces. They had Lillard. They had Brook Lopez. We know the team. They got run off the floor because they were 7 of 11 from three to start the game. And it looked like, but man, we started whittling it down, and slowly but surely we kept our composure, which is something that the team would have quit with JB.
Yep.
And you have to instill a new way of thinking so that players don't get into a stale environment. Well, it's over now for Kevin Stefanski. He can't turn this thing around. He's lost the team. They're not paying attention. I don't know what the hell it is with the defensive coordinator. I don't know whether it's Denzel Ward or whether it was Juan Thornhill. I have to believe it was Thornhill, but because he has made mistakes in the past that just absolutely just fucked the team up. The Cavaliers, on the other hand, found a way to win. And they did it against not just a struggling Bucks team. This was the good Bucks team, and they played well. And their stars played well. And they had the game until the last, and Donovan hit the big dagger. And they kept their composure on the road, and it's something that we did not see from this team in years past.
Yeah, and Atkinson was playing guys in unusual combinations. Like he had Niang, Okoro, and Merrill and Mobley out on the floor all at the same time. He had speedy lineups out there. And if you look at the stats from last night's game, all of the bench guys had plus numbers.
Yep.
Every single one. Ty Jerome, he's finally fitting well enough to play, and he's fitting in excellently.
Do you know that 7 teams, 7, have owned the rights to him?
Yeah.
Over time? He'd never been nothing anywhere. But you see, you need to have a backup point because your two players, you can afford to run them separately. Garland and Mitchell are scoring threats, but when they're on the floor together, sometimes it's not the best.
Well, I think he was becoming something in Oklahoma City, and then of course with Shea Gilgeous-Alexander there, it just wasn't going to be a good long-term fit, so he became available. But
right, but I think a guy like Ty Jerome is a below the rim kind of distributor.
Yep.
And if you leave him alone, he has a tricky little bank shot here and there, and he can do this and that and play some defense. He's not afraid to stick his nose in. And he's got a little bit of an attitude about him, which is positive.
Yeah, he's a bit Dellavedova-esque,
Yeah.
No, who I think is a more apt comparison to him? Mike Conley.
I don't really know much about Mike Conley, except he shot the ball from his kneecaps.
Yeah, I mean he can hit a shot every time or two, but he makes the smart plays. He makes the good defense, the smarter decisions. Passing the ball and leading the offense, if you will. So that's kind of what I
and Richard, the fact that Garland had lost that weight after the jaw got smashed, he had been bitch slapped around last year.
Oh God, and a ragdoll.
And he does look better this year. And what he's doing is, instead of forcing his way to the rim, he's pulling up, shooting floaters, which is what he did 2-3 years ago. And he's getting some looks from the outside, and he's not jumping up in the air, leaving his feet and trying to make cross-court passes. It's more crisp, station to station, man to man, move the ball quickly kinds of passing rather than dribble, try to make a fancy pass. And this is coaching. This is, and if you've seen already, Kenny Atkinson has a very short hook. He really does. I mean, when George Niang is out there on the floor and he's sucking Trump dick, he's off the floor quickly.
But he's not lost weight, though.
Huh?
George Niang's lost weight. He's lost about 20, 30 pounds. That's what they were saying it on WTAM the other night.
Yeah, but the thing is, he's still an under-the-rim player. If he's not hitting the corner three, then he's slow and he's not going to help you much defensively. But I will say this, with Karis LeVert and his, however many, 13, 14 points a night that he's been scoring this season, but his 64% three-point shooting, with a sore knee, and you have to find replacement people, take a look at Isaac Okoro. Get a load of that.
He played well,
He,
hustling.
He actually was not afraid to put the three up if he was open for it. And it was he who set up the final scenario by diving on the floor to get a loose ball.
Yeah.
And there's always a place for a good defensive player. But, if you can build his confidence to take that open three, that's what Kenny Atkinson seems to be doing for this team. Just seems to be getting everybody to develop strengths and to get confidence and to be certain about what they're doing and not to be shy. And it makes a huge difference. And with Mobley, it's made all the difference in the world. I mean, he's got, Jabbar had a sky hook, and they said it was an unblockable shot because he was actually shooting the ball down at the rim when he took that baseline sky hook. Well, you've got Mobley, who's all arms and legs, and when he's driving down that lane and goes up, and he's putting it off the backboard, there's no way that you're going to block that shot. And he's making that shot. And, the whole thing is every NBA player has to find their spots on the floor. I mean, take a look at a guy like Paul Pierce. I had to do my
Tommy Heinsohn.
Ugh.
For you younger viewers out there.
Tommy Heinsohn, I'm dead. Okay, wait a minute.
Very dead. You're very dead.
I'm Oh, God.
The luckiest.
There I am. It's me, Tommy Heinsohn from hell. You remember Paul Pierce? Paul Pierce was a guy who got to his spot, fade away, and hit the shot. He did it every time. And the amazing thing about it, I'm not going to tell you what the amazing thing was because I prefer John Havlicek. That's just me. I'm a Havlicek kind of guy.
Yeah.
I'm a Larry Siegfried kind of guy. A Larry Bird kind of guy.
Bailey Howell.
Oh, enough of that. God. But yeah, he's finding a spot on the floor all right, and he's executing bank shots on the move. You can't stop the shot. And he doesn't need, and he's developing a little fadeaway shot, and, and he's developing a three. So that's what you need. If you move him up from 15 points a game like he's been doing and 7-8 rebounds, you get him up to a point where he's 20 points a night, and this is possible. I'm not saying that this is, he's definitely there, but he could do this on any given night. He can go off for 20 or more in the right circumstance, depending on what the matchup is. But yeah, and he needs to work a little on his free throw shooting, but he's been getting some double-digit rebounds for us, and his defense is tremendous. So, Big Lurker is providing us with some more tough one to swallow. That's what Trump said.
Wow.
Sorry. We really let it slide on defense. Did you? On individual plays? Yeah. But I say the offense had a lot to do with it too, Miles. And here we go.
I actually think we're going to get a firing this week. I don't know who it's going to be, but I think with it being a bye week, I think somebody's going to get scapegoated. Yeah. Somebody's going to be scapegoated, and they'll be gone. Who knows who it'll be.
And then Miles Garrett on whether he's worried about a disappointing season, wasting a season in his prime. Halfway through the season, let's see what happens. It's like, get me out of here.
Get me out of here. Send me to Detroit.
Ty Jerome is a bit like Ricky Rubio, except Rubio is really a magnificent passer. He could do things. He was a wizard.
Had more flair. Yeah, he had a lot more flair player than
and I'll tell you one thing, when the limited time he was in Cleveland, Ricky Rubio was not afraid to take a big shot on the perimeter, and he was not a good shooter, but it didn't scare him off. So he had some braveness.
Yeah, he was a bit. He had that Spanish cojones going on.
Yeah. Richard's saying the one worry I have with the Cavs is that they all seem to be very nice guys. I'd like to see them acquire. We had the right guy. We did last year.
We did.
Morris.
Morris, whatever.
But the organization didn't like the fact that he mouthed off about Bickerstaff, and then they promptly fired Bickerstaff. But again, Morris is famous for yapping and creating fights and technical fouls, and he's not an easy to coach player, very hot-tempered guy. But I agree with you. We need an enforcer. And not Tristan Thompson. We need a guy who's barrel-chested like Charles Oakley was. A guy who's going to throw his weight around and say, look, stop this shit.
Yeah. Well, it's November. I mean, there's still time for us to sort that out. But the amazing thing is it's the beginning of November, and the Cavs got 5 more wins than the fucking Browns do. It's just embarrassing.
7-0, what a start. And, it's like, I say to Cleveland sports fans all the time, if you're a fan, it's about winning. And if you have pride in your community, it shouldn't be, well, I like football. I don't like basketball. Shut the fuck up. It's your town. And that's what's bringing interest into your town and revenue into your town. It isn't the goddamn awful Browns. It's the Cavaliers who are going to the playoffs. It was the Guardians that went to the playoffs. Support the teams that are winning, for God's sakes. I don't understand how fans think, but it doesn't grow on trees. God, we know that in Northeast Ohio.
The way I see it is like maybe the other two sports aren't entertaining enough.
Well, what is pole dancers? What are you saying?
I don't know. Maybe like baseball can go on for like a whole long time just scoreless, and it can get kind of boring. And
I agree
basketball
that-
sometimes, yeah. And
Go
with
ahead.
basketball, it's like it's just not enough action in it to the point to get consider it entertaining.
Oh, hell, there's a
I
ton of
would
action.
disagree. The
5 men in
athleticism-
motion, 10 men on a floor, all in motion, all at the same time, with amazing up down the court speed, incredible verticality, guys who are 7 foot tall, who are dribbling behind their backs. Man, oh man, this is the best time to be watching the NBA.
Yep.
So you can see guys
If
like
they're all fit.
Wembayana and guys like Holmgren and guys around the league.
Well,
Whole new big man thing happening in the league.
The difference between basketball and football is a lot more violent. Maybe that's what you mean.
Yeah.
Football is
Yeah,
a
and
lot
not
more
just that,
violent.
but a good chunk of NBA games in recent years have all been blowouts.
Well,
no, I don't find that to be accurate at all. And I watched every Cavs game for God knows how many years when they were losing most of them. And then
I don't have
these
an
last
answer
couple
for
of years.
that. Football games.
Did you see? Did you see our friend Joel Embiid put his hands on a reporter after they lost?
Yeah, the reporter. Again, you start talking about a guy's dead brother, and it's not cool.
Yeah, that's going to upset you.
As a reporter, there are things, the truth is important to talk about, but if you're talking about Joel Embiid not being properly conditioned, which there's truth to, because that's why he gets hurt so often, he's not, take a look at Donovan Mitchell and how fastidious he is, SAT word, about his body. That guy is the biggest 6'2" guy that I've ever seen in my life. He can drive through people like a truck. He can leap through the sky. And he is built like a brick shithouse. You look at Embiid, and it's kind of like he's big.
Pudgy. He's pudgy.
Yeah, but he never chiseled himself to be like Giannis is. You take a look at Giannis, and you think you're going to stop him from going to the hole?
No.
He's just big and strong and muscular, got huge strength. Embiid doesn't have that strength. Neither does Karl Anthony Towns. So that's the old big man going away. It's the new group that's exciting.
Yeah.
But again,
it's just personal preference too. At the end of the day,
Sure.
Dave, if you like football better than the other sports, that's obviously your choice.
Well, the thing about football, people, get all excited about the one-handed catches, whether it was Garrett Wilson, with Ohio State, or whether it was OBJ, and the incredible catches that people make. But that's athleticism of one sort. There's much more athleticism on display on
basketball
by the minute in a basketball court than there is on a football field.
Yeah, I totally agree with that.
It's a different thing, and I just can't believe the speed and the strength in the game right now. And, again, it's all about our local economy in Northeast Ohio. It's all about supporting something that's working instead of getting sucked into something that is not working. And, and to turn on each other. 50% of the fan base has forever lost me. And I've lost them, and I don't want them. I don't want any of the people who were just throwing this all on one player's doorstep. This is bad ownership, bad decision making, got a bad team. And it's hard this time of the year. If I had a choice of am I going to watch a Browns game or a Cavs game, it's a Cavs game.
Yeah.
And the best thing I can say is there's no Browns game this next week. I'm off. I don't have to do anything because, you can sit here and say, we need to do this. We need to do this. We need to do this. And it was just like, JB Bickerstaff. He was running a 3-decade-old offensive scheme. He didn't know how to draw up X's and O's. He was selfish. he played players way too many minutes, and in the process of doing so, crippled his players by the time the playoffs came along. And then he would continue making the same blunders, doing it his way until they fired him. And you know, I look at JB Bickerstaff, and I'm going to go over to the NBA portion of this. And right now, the Pistons are losing at the half 57-52 to the Nets, the New York Nets, and the Brooklyn Nets. And
you were right the first time.
The New Jersey
Nets. Yeah, that
one. The Pistons are 1-5. All right.
Yeah, and we handled them pretty easily. I mean, the thing that's worrying me about the Cavs is that we are not getting fouls called in our favor during any of these games that I've seen. I'd say 4 or 5 of them, and the other team is going to the free throw line maybe 15 to 20 times more often than we are, and that's just not right. So,
well, I mean, the Los Angeles game was the thing that was
terrible.
Me. Yeah,
that was absolutely shocking.
That really irritated me tremendously. But you're not going to get a bunch of calls. That's to be sure of. Looking at the rosters and the stats of the Pistons, for example, Cade Cunningham is averaging 25 points.
Yeah, he's a good player.
He's a good player. And, but he's averaging 36 minutes a game.
Yeah, he's going to fall over.
Tobias Harris is 33 minutes a game. All right. And, and Mike Brown is doing the same thing in Sacramento. He's going to overplay his guys to the point where the wheels are going to come off.
Wow.
And what I want to do here is, while I can still do this and get into the right menu here, which it's not letting me do. There's teams. Okay. And if you want to look at the Cavaliers as an example and take a look at their statistics, that didn't work. I mean, why would that do that? Yeah, not me. I'm trying to look at the Cleveland Cavaliers statistics. Hello. Okay.
It's harder over here in England because they have an international site, and you have to fuck around with that.
Look at this. Donovan Mitchell averaging 29 minutes a game. Darius Garland, 28. Evan Mobley, 29. Jared Allen, 29. LeVert, until he just got hurt recently, 21. And then you're getting Ty Jerome with 14. You're getting Sam Merrill playing 19. You're getting Dean Wade playing 23 minutes a game. You got Okoro playing 19 minutes a game. You got Niang playing 18.3 minutes a game. I mean, this is trusting your team, and it's not running people into the ground. And the thing that's going to be different this year with the Cavaliers, there'll be ups, there'll be downs, because it's a long season. It's 82 games long. But when all is said and done, they will be healthier come playoff time and rested and ready to pull a full effort against whomever they draw in the playoffs. That's, that's just kind of the way it is. So,
well, I think Monday's game with the Bucks again, but back at home, that's actually going to be a tough game. So I think the Bucks will be ready for what we've been doing this year, having already played us, and they'll be out for revenge. And I think that's going to be a harder game than people think it is.
Well, I think they're all hard games. You're playing a team like Milwaukee, who, quite honestly,
they have talent. Yeah, they definitely have talent.
But that talent is getting old.
Yeah.
And, when you have a roster, you've got Giannis, who's already 29.
Wow.
I mean, time flies real quick. You got Connaughton off the bench at 31. You've got Lillard, who's 34. You got Brook Lopez, who's 36.
Yeah, he's old.
Chris Middleton, who didn't play,
really old,
is 33.
Yeah.
So It's now or never. I mean, that's really what you're looking at. The Cavaliers are a much younger team, and they're gonna, and they did, and it's interesting because Dan Gilbert has been known to spend money. People think, oh, he's going to spend his way out of a hole. He didn't this time.
No, he didn't. He was very restrained.
Mm-hmm. And he said, we're going to stay with the core that we got and dance with who brung us. But we see the problem and we replaced the problem. And so far, you can't argue with results.
Yep.
So
I think he's very restrained for Dan Gilbert. That's not a word you normally associate with him.
That's right.
So,
all right, I'm done. I'm finished. And to all Browns fans, I hope you have a good week, and I hope you have a good weekend. The following weekend, you won't be seeing or hearing from me over the course of the weekend because there ain't no game.
Yeah, you might as well have a bye week yourself, like unless something happens.
I'll be around.
We'll come back Tuesday after the Cavs game or something.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be there for the Cavaliers because they're doing something the right way, and I commend them for that. But thanks a lot, Bronk. Thanks a lot, David Telefsky, and thanks to the rest of the crew.
Problem.
Thanks, Big Lurker.
Everybody disappeared once we started talking about a proper team, though, isn't it?
Yeah, it's fine. There because I don't talk about improper teams.
Correct.
But thanks again, and we will see you again tomorrow on the day after show. Until then, hasta la vista, Pastorheads. Good night.